Welcome to our first town hall of 2026. I'm Stacy L. I'm a compulsive eater from Los Angeles, California. Abstinence date is July 1st, 2017. I'm also the vice chair of the Board of Trustees. It's good to see everyone. I hope everyone is staying warm. The fellowship requested that the Board of Trustees host these quarterly town halls for the fellowship to ask questions and make suggestions about GSA World Services. This year, our town halls will be on the last Sunday of January, April, and July at 11 o'clock Eastern time for 90 minutes. Next year, the town halls will be on Saturdays again. We're alternating yearly between Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so this meeting is being recorded. Does anyone object to La Comunidad España Intergroup publishing the audio recording on their YouTube channel? Okay, so if anyone objects, we will not publish it. There being no objections, according to GSA World Services policy, we will publish the audio of the town hall in English and in Spanish. The notes for this meeting will be published on the website. We're using Wordly to interpret for those who speak a language other than the speaker's language. Most of our presentations, probably all of them today, will be recorded in English. So please speak slowly, clearly, and in complete sentences with a minimum of slang and colloquialisms to make it easier for Wordly to accurately translate your meaning. So now would be the time to open up Wordly and prepare to hear and read all of our speakers today, if you choose to do that. I want to thank Carla is going to be moderating the meeting today, and we have our timer is going to be Pat, and Joey is working Wordly, so thank you to all of you. And I'm going to review the agenda. So it's a 90-minute meeting for, we're going to do introductions and welcomes for about 5 minutes. And then we are going to do World Service questions and feedback for up to 20 minutes. And Pat, I'll go over these times for you each time. Then Grania will present the special topic, which is the Grey Sheet Committee 2020 report on Grey Sheet abstinence, the clarifications and sponsor guidelines. Then for up to 20 minutes, we'll have an update on the progress of our vision and 4 core functions, the integrity of the Grey Sheet program, literature, public information, and website. Then there will be presentations by 3 intergroups. We'll have Joey presenting for New York Metro Intergroup, Carolyn for Western States Intergroup, and Anne B for Europe. And Anna, you're going to help out with that. Also, okay, great. And in April, just so you know, the intergroups will be Southern Central, Israel, and Iceland. And then Jen is going to report for 5 minutes, up to 5 minutes on the 7th Tradition and Donations report. And then we'll do some announcements for 5 minutes, and then we'll have our closing. Is there any questions before we get started about the agenda? Okay. All right. So Marvin, go ahead. Yes.
One question. Who's going to do the vision?
The vision. Okay, so for the vision, we have the categories. We have the integrity of the Grey Sheet. Sharon will do literature. We have public information, not sure. Good. And then Carolyn will do the website. Okay. All right. And if you can please raise your virtual hand, everyone, it would be so helpful because there's so many of you, which is really good to see. All right. So will the members of the Board of Trustees please raise your virtual hand, and I will call on you. If you could just introduce yourself with your name, location, abstinence date, role on the board, and how long you've served on the Board of Trustees. That would be great. So let's start with I see, let's start with Marvin. Marvin, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, Marvin A. from New York, on the board of trustees, I'll say almost 3 years. I'm the chairperson for the last 3 months, and basically that's it. Thanks.
Okay. And Cheryl, our secretary, go ahead.
I always have trouble finding my unmute. I'm Cheryl O. I'm from Michigan. My abstinent date is July 6, 2003. And I've been on the board since, I think it was May of last year, and I've been the secretary since October.
Thank you so much. Carla.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carla B., and I am a member of the Board of Trustees, just a member, straight old member. And I live in Spokane, Washington, and my abstinence date is March 31st, 2007.
Thank you, Carla. Peggy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Peggy, compulsive eater, food addict, and I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan. My abstinence date is December 28th, 1989, and I have been on the Board of Trustees only since September, and I am newly liaison to our literature committee, but I'm so new I haven't even been to a meeting yet.
Thank you, Peggy. Katie?
Hi, everybody. I'm Katie from Long Island, New York. My abstinent date is January 5th, 2003. I was newly elected onto the board 3 months ago. I also am the liaison that I'm going to steal Peggy's thing. So new that haven't really connected, but liaison to the conference committee, as well as the assistant to the treasurer.
Thank you so much. Jessica?
Hi, thank you, Stacy. Hi, everybody. My name is Jessica, and I'm calling from Jacksonville, Florida. I just started on the board last year, a couple months ago, and I'm the liaison to the Phone Bridge intergroup. Thank you.
Thank you. Deb K.
It keeps happening to me. Good morning, everyone. I'm Deb from Michigan, Southeast Michigan. My abstinence date is January 8th, 2020. I'm in Southeast Michigan. I've been on the board for 3 months, and I am liaison to the website committee.
Thank you, Deb. Jen?
Hi, I'm Jen G. I'm in Massachusetts. I've been on the board for about a year. I'm a member. And yeah, that's it. Glad to be here. Thanks.
Thank you, Jen. And as you heard, we have several new members of the Board of Trustees, and I definitely would like to thank Grania for helping to onboard everyone and spending a lot of time. I really appreciate that. We're so glad everyone's here. If you're able to, if you could please put your identifying information in the chat. So your name, your role in GSAs, your committee, intergroup, email, that would be fantastic. All right, so now for 20 minutes, Pat, and if you can let us know when 20 minutes are up, I will open the floor to all of your questions, suggestions, and input regarding GSA World Services. I just ask that you please limit your questions to World Service topics rather than intergroup, group, or sponsor topics. As you know, each group and intergroup are autonomous. And so, but any questions about GSAs, we will be happy to answer. If the appropriate officer, board member, or committee member is here and can answer the question simply and quickly, I will ask them, I will call on them to answer the question. Otherwise, I will ask the appropriate officer trustee or chairperson to communicate with you about your question offline. If we can't answer a question here today, then we will research it and publish the answer on GSA World Services Facebook group. Also, if you have questions ahead of time, just for next time, you can always email chair@greysheet.org to ask the question ahead of time so we can prepare. And if you have a question that you'd like to ask or a comment, feedback confidentially, then you can submit that to communication@greysheet.org. All right, if you can raise your virtual hand, if you have any questions, comments, feedback. Okay, Maggie, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see everybody this morning. And my question is this, and it's really just sheer curiosity. I'm wondering why we are going through the clarifications again. Is this a regular thing that we will be doing every year? Just idle curiosity. Thanks.
Yes, that's a great question. So I'll explain a little bit of the history with it. What originally we don't post the clarifications on the website. So the only way to obtain the clarifications is through your sponsor. So what the board decided, I think it was in 2023 or so, was a resolution. They passed a resolution, just a board resolution, saying that they would present the clarifications document to the fellowship once a year. So to kind of let the fellowship know that this document's even out there and where to obtain it, etc. And we've done that a few times now. Granya's going to do it again today, but the Board of Trustees is going to vote on whether or not there's another way to, for example, on our website on greysheet.org, there is a question, a little drop down about the Gray Sheet Committee, and it will say, in order to get the clarifications document, if you would like it, you can get it from your sponsor. So we may not need to present it again. So that's a really good question. But for now, we're just doing it today, and then we're going to vote on that shortly about whether or not to keep doing it. Do you have a preference?
Do I have a preference?
I'm just curious.
I love presenting it at the town hall every year. I think that's useful, but the other way is useful too, just so the information gets out there.
That's great. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Maggie. Any other questions, feedback, suggestions? Sarah.
Thank you. This is Nagar, Sarah.
Oh, hi,
I have a
Nagar.
question. Hi, what if your sponsor, I'm a sponsor and I don't have those clarifications. So I don't know how a sponsor is supposed to get the clarifications. And then also I've had people with long-term abstinence say that they don't follow the clarifications because it wasn't how it came about, was just not, I don't know, I guess people weren't represented. I don't know. They questioned the clarifications and how the group came together to make those decisions because it wasn't all of Gray Sheet. So I don't know if that will get answered too, so that it won't be so controversial.
Absolutely.
So access and the controversy around that.
So what I'm going to do is I promise to get back to your question after Granya's presentation, if it's not answered in her presentation. Wait, where did Nagar go? I'm sorry, I lost you on my screen. If you can still hear me, what will happen is when Grania will address that during her presentation, probably much more fully than I can right now. And so I will circle back with you afterward and ensure that you got your question answered, if that's okay.
Thank you for your service.
Okay, of course. Okay. Is it Di or D? And I never know.
Di.
Di.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your service, Stacy. Just very quickly, forgive me if you've already said this, but how would I best express any opinion I have about today's town hall so that it's visible to everybody present and part of the town hall archives. So if I don't say anything in this moment, should I, did you say that what the protocol is? I'm so sorry. I'm asking if I have an opinion or a response to something. Is there an opportunity now to share that with this?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so,
Absolutely.
all right, thank you. So that will be known at some point in the town hall meeting.
Oh, no, this is the opportunity. Is that what you mean to
After
talk?
what's presented and, as the agenda and discussion, will there be
Sure.
an opportunity for feedback from us in this?
Of course. So after, what we'll do is after Grania's presentation, we'll ask for questions and feedback if that would be helpful to you.
Great, thank you so much.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, all right. Any other questions, feedback, suggestions? This is about anything, the whole gamut of world services, not just clarifications. Okay, so since it seems like there's several questions about that particular topic, what I would like to do is I would like to move on to that special topic now. We'll ask questions immediately following or give feedback immediately following. And then if we have time at the end of the town hall, I'll circle back and ask if there's any questions, feedback, discussion that people would like to have with board members about about anything else. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So Grania is going to present the special topic and for up to 20 minutes. So why don't we do, Grania, do you think you'll need the full 20 minutes for the actual presentation?
No, I think it would be great if Patricia, if Pat gave me a 10-minute mark, and then I could try and wrap it up and we'd have time for questions and comments.
Okay, excellent. Okay, all right. Okay, go ahead, Grania. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stacy. Thanks everybody for doing service. Thanks everybody for being here. I'm Grania, and I was the chair of the ad hoc Gray Sheet Committee, which produced the report and provided it to the fellowship back in 2022. So I've been given the role of representing the committee when we speak about it. And I am going to share my screen and show you some slides. Yes, thank you. Thanks, everybody. Now I'm just going to make you all bigger so I can still see all of you. Okay. So I will try to just do 10 minutes for the presentation and then questions. But if I say something that is clearly makes no sense to you in the moment, if I've misspoken or if there are any immediate questions, feel free to raise your hand. So as Stacy said, this is a result of a board discussion in 2022 when the board members agreed that many GreySheeters had no idea how to get a hold of the report of the Gray Sheet Committee, which was designed as a resource for those members who might want to use it. And so the board voted to make this the topic of the first town hall every year so that the Gray Sheet world would know that the report exists. As Stacy said, it was designed, or the vision of the World Service Conference in 2019, when they commissioned the report, was that it would be available just like the Gray Sheet, because it does talk about the specifics of our food, from a sponsor. And just like the Gray Sheet, sponsors would get it from their sponsors or from their GSR, their group service representative, who would know them and know that they are a qualified sponsor, or failing that, from their ISR, their intergroup service representative, who would presumably know them as well. Failing all of that, you can email greysheet@greysheet.org, and once we know that you're a qualified sponsor, we can send you a copy of the report. It was published in August of 2020. So what it is not is based on tradition 2. So tradition 2 says, for our group purpose, there is but one ultimate authority, a loving God, as he may express himself in our group conscience. Our leaders are but trusted servants. They do not govern. So just like the gray sheet, the report is a resource for those of us who wish to join a community of people doing a certain thing with their food. It's not published as part of an authority or policing body that says this is the only way to be abstinent on the gray sheet. Just because World Services commissioned it in response to people's concerns about what was happening in our community with the food, it doesn't mean that World Services has any role other than making it known to people that the report exists, should they want a copy. The committee was what's called an ad hoc committee. That means it was created in response to a specific need, and once that need was met, it was disbanded. It no longer exists. So it's not like tech support for gray sheet abstinence. It's not a bunch of people waiting by the phone for you to call and say, is this food abstinent? Is this practice abstinent? The group got together, they did their report as requested by the conference, and they no longer exist. So the other question that arises from the report and the work of the Gray Sheet Committee, a misunderstanding during our work as well as since then, was that we were going to edit the Gray Sheet. We were going to make the Gray Sheet modernized or clarified or in some way change the content of the original Gray Sheet document. That is something that we could never do because the formation of Gray Sheet World Services in 1998, the group that committed, that group that came together to create our World Service organization, committed to the fellowship that we would never change the Gray Sheet. The Gray Sheet Food Plan cannot be updated, modernized, corrected, clarified. It just is what it is. It's an oral tradition. We pass it on from one person to the next. The mission that the committee was given was to address variations in practices by members of our community from our original understanding, our common understanding of abstinence. The kinds of variations that threaten the unity of our fellowship. So just to be really, really broad about it and not to, this is not an actual example, but if somebody heard that somebody was eating a sugar food, I don't know, a sugar food that I'm not going to name at a Gray Sheet meeting like this, and they were calling themselves Gray Sheet abstinent and practicing and passing it on to their sponsees. Those kinds of things were the kinds of variations that people were worried about. And there were an increasing number of those when the board commissioned the committee. So people were hearing more and more about stranger and stranger practices with the food, and they were afraid that our community's unity was going to be inextricably, permanently damaged, threatening all of our abstinences. So those are the kinds of things the committee was going to address. Not every single potential variation in how you and your sponsors interpret the Gray Sheet. There are many, many interpretations of the Gray Sheet that are perfectly in line with what the Gray Sheet means. So the obvious one is peppers. green, red, yellow, whatever it says on the gray sheet. And people interpret that to mean only those or all peppers. It's not a variation that's going to threaten the unity of our fellowship. So if you read the clarifications report, you may not find a statement about every single thing that you've seen variations on. That wasn't the purpose. So we went through I think I've skipped a slide here. Let me see. I seem to have missed it. I think I might have hidden the slide that I should be speaking to right now, so forgive me for that. What the committee did was the chair of the board at the time asked for nominees from all the board members at the time, and all of the board members at the time, which was about 10 people from all over the gray sheet world in many states and countries, and asked them to nominate people with over 20 years of abstinence. Then she approached over 25 different members of our community with over 20 years of abstinence and asked them to join the committee. And she approached over 25 people, and 14 people agreed to be on the committee. So those 14 members got together and we met every other week for 2.5 years. We went through the gray sheet and identified all the areas that we thought could lead to variations, all the statements on the gray sheet that could be interpreted in multiple ways. We also took input via an email address that was announced on the website, in town halls, in chairs and ISRs meetings. Thank you, Pat. In Service Matters on GreyNet. We took questions from the fellowship and from the board. And throughout those 2.5 years, people would raise questions. So we were constantly circling back, like we thought we'd finished with proteins, but here came a question about proteins. And we went back and looked at them again. And we just went through every single statement on the gray sheet, every item on the gray sheet, and we asked, what do you do? We went around the room and we asked, how do you do this part? And we took a consensus. And I was just speaking to a member of the committee this morning. What we remember most about it was, amongst the 14 of us, the amount of unity was incredible. It was so affirming to hear all these people say, yep, that's what I do. Yep, that's what I do. That's what I do. It was an amazing amount of harmony about what we did with our food. It was very affirming. So for each of those statements, we just stated, this is what we do. This is the safest, most consensus-based practice for this product on the gray sheet. This is how you weigh it, this is how you measure it, etc. And then that was the clarifications section. Then we said, what do we suggest people do with this? And there's a recommendations section in the report. And basically all it says is, review the report. Ask yourself if this is what you're doing. If you're doing something different, discuss it with your sponsor. If you're doing something different, ask yourself, do you want to do what's in the report, or do you want to continue doing what you're already doing? And if you're going to continue what you're already doing, how are you going to talk about that if people ask about it, or how are you going to sponsor it if you have sponsees? And how will that affect the unity of Gray Sheet as a whole? So all it said was, here are some statements about what we do in Gray Sheet. We suggest you read it and ask yourself some questions about it. Now, we were also asked to, there were several, the literature committee at the time and the phone bridge community at the time had begun, in response to all the concerns about what people were doing with their food, they had begun to write such guidelines for sponsors, clarifications of our abstinence. So they wanted to know, what should intergroups do? What should groups do? What should World Services do? But all the report says is that groups and intergroups may decide to only elect people who follow what's in the report. And World Services may decide to register groups and intergroups whose trusted servants follow this. As those of you who have been involved will know, none of those recommendations were ever adopted by anybody. That's perfectly fine. The report is just a report, just a series of recommendations. It exists. It's there for you to use if it's useful. If it's not useful to you and your sponsees, ignore it. If it's not useful to you and your groups, ignore it. It's just a resource. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Grania. I really appreciate that. If you can, perfect. Okay, that was very thorough. I'm going to circle back first to Nagar's question. So to answer the question, how to get the gray sheet, the clarification. So as a reminder, you can get it from where do sponsors get it? They can ask their group service representative from their group. They can ask the intergroup service representative from the intergroup. And if they can't get it there, then they can write to GreySheet@greysheet.org to obtain a copy. So that's how sponsors get a copy. And then I think the other question, I don't want to state it incorrectly, but if you disagree with the clarification, so just like Rania said, if you disagree with it, speak to your sponsor, ignore it. It's just a series of it's recommendations. That's it. Did you have your questions answered, or can I answer something more completely and then I'll get to Di?
You
You
questions
5
were-
minutes time in.
Okay. Thank you. The question was answered. The only question I have is it was stated that the board commissioned this gray sheet committee, and then it was also stated that the World Service wanted a commission this committee. So those are two different bodies. So my question is, how were individual members represented in that request for the gray sheet committee to be organized? So meaning, was it the board or was it actual World Service, which is made up of group service representatives? So yeah.
That I hear you. So Grania, would you like to take that one?
Yeah, thank you so much, Nagar, and great to see you. The board commissioned the committee in the end of 2018, and we started work in January of 2019. And at the World Service Conference in October of 2019, we the board proposed on behalf of the committee that we would publish a report that would be distributed via ISRs and GSRs. And that was the part that the World Service Conference voted on. What would happen to the report? Will there be a report? How will it be distributed? And the World Service Conference voted, yes, publish your report, distribute it via the structure of the organization.
Thank you, Grania. Nagar, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. And just one last question is, when Grania stated tradition 2, there's but one ultimate authority, and and all that is. So if the board commissioned the Gray Sheet Committee, what I'm hearing is Grania saying that it's not an authoritarian or authority on the Gray Sheet. So it was just this. Yeah. So I just want to make sure, is there an authority to it, or it sounds like there isn't?
There's not at all. No, it's not that type of document, and it's never been used to even determine anything insofar as whether a group can be, their meetings could be listed on the website, whether a person can do service. There's absolutely nothing. It was just a recommendation. Okay, thank you so much for your questions, Di. And then I'm sorry, before I get to you, Di, for Pat, for timing, can you tell me when 10 minutes are left?
What, starting from when?
Starting from now.
10 minutes, okay.
Thank you. Okay, Di.
Hello, I'm Di, compulsive eater. Thank you so much, Grania, and everyone for your service. I wrote down a response, to clarify for myself and keep it simple. It would be like 1 minute at the most, and I'll just read what I wrote as my thoughts as Grania was sharing, if I may.
You may do that.
It has been known that, let's see, it is clear that GSA has never presented its role with respect to the clarifications coming from a position of authority or mandate or even recommendation. It's been neutral service provider. In my opinion, the clarifications and related correspondence should always be available on request from GSOS with a defined protocol on how to get it as archival information of interest. Neither the clarifications nor gray sheet should be available for download or opinion from the website. It has been known that the gray sheet has always been available only through a qualified gray sheet sponsor. So that's our tradition. Thank you for letting me share. And again, I have this in writing. I hope it was clear.
It was very clear, Di. Thank you so much.
So
And
are
just
all
for
of you. And I happen to love the clarifications. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. And just so there's no confusion for everyone, neither the gray sheet nor the clarifications document are posted anywhere where it's accessible for people to obtain. All right, thank you, Di. Steve.
Thank you, Steve, compulsive overeater. Grania, as always, I love your slideshows. I love your presentations. I want to know if it's available anywhere that we could show. What I love most about it is that it dispels the misconception that World Service is a governing body. It's a service group. They serve the community. And that the clarification and guidelines are just that. People who got abstinent before the great confusion with the differences in lines. I love the fact that this puts it in historical context for people who don't understand why it was done in the first place. This is me as an educator, as a GSR, as a representative, to let people know why we do what we do and why we don't do what we don't do. So when the report came out in 2020 on Zoom, my sponsor and my co-sponsees, we read it word by word, discussed it, went over it, and I did it face-to-face with my sponsee. So I use it as a document because I love documents. My only question is in terms of the slide that addressed Cambridge gray sheet, it's a precursor to, prior to 1998. And if that portion of the slide, could it be changed to GreySheeters Anonymous community instead of Cambridge community because we're much wider than that. It's just a minor point, but I just wanted to say that I find the document very helpful, and I do have a PDF version of it, but I really appreciate the discussion on how to disseminate it and how to share it, and I look forward to that discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steve. Grania, is it feasible to do that? Does it make sense to do that to you? It's your slide, so I just wanted to make sure.
So I'm not sure if you're asking can we publish the slideshow, which the answer would be yes, of course. That'd be up to the website committee and the board, I suppose. And then if we can change the word Cambridge, I'm looking through and I don't see it, so I'll get with Steve and see where
Perfect.
that is and we can fix it.
Thank you so much. Katie.
Hi, all. Thank you, Grania. That was a wonderful presentation, very clear. And I appreciate that very much. Somebody just texted me and said, I'm still not clear on how to get the clarifications.
Okay, thank you. So this is how you get the clarifications. So as a member of GreySheet, you get it from your sponsor. If you're a sponsor looking to get the clarifications, then you would ask your GSR, your group service representative, If they don't have a copy, you can ask your ISR, and these all can be by email, by the way. You can get it by email, the clarifications. You ask your ISR, your intergroup service representative, and if you're at a total loss, you just email greysheet@greysheet.org. Thank you, Katie, for that. Okay, yes.
I just want to say, and all of that information, please correct me if I'm wrong, is on the website.
It's currently on the website.
Okay.
I can't, because I'm on the screen now, it's hard to direct you to it, but there's a part, I think it's under Board of Trustees. It says Gray Sheet Committee, and that will tell you the same information. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to move on. I want to give people spent time preparing their presentations. So I first want to move on to an update on the progress of our vision and 4 core functions. So if you can time now, Pat, starting 20 minutes. Our vision is that when anyone, anywhere realizes they have a problem with food, they think of the Gray Sheet solution. So to accomplish that vision, this is the Board of Trustees vision, we believe that World Service has 4 core functions. Those are to protect the integrity of the Gray Sheet, to publish literature that carries the Gray Sheet message, to reach out to the public, and to provide informative and a helpful website. So in order to do that, to talk about those, I'm gonna call on Marvin, if you can talk about the integrity of the Gray Sheet program.
Hi, family, Marvin Capulso over here. I will not post, but I will break down what's for the actual committees and also what's for the board. Thank you, Stacy, and thank everyone that's doing service today. So the protected of the GSA food plan, you know, this is dependent on the copyright. She said it, not allowing authority or unauthority people alter it, reduce it, dispute it. You know what I mean? So nobody needs to dispute it on their own. Ensuring translations disputed within the fellowship according to World Service adopted distribution of GSA resolution. Ensuring that we have supplied a hard copy or someone to store or ship them as well. Someone who disputes authorized electronic copies. So what that means right there, you just can't just do these things on your own. So we had some issues in the past where people did some things like make copies when they don't supposed to. You get that from your intergroup. We had people that put stuff in the PDF and ship it out. We don't do that. You have to go to your intergroup or your sponsor. All right, so I just want to clarify that. So when the second part is helping World Service, intergroups follow the committee traditions as well as the 12 tradition, 12 concept, and the World Service. So we might have some new people on in. I know these things is over and over again, but these things are important. You know, it's for the board, you know, attending the 12th edition, 12 concept workshops that we call roundups. Okay. Educated, you know, it's very important that we understand these things. So we have I think we have 4 year quarterly. So it's very important that someone show up and understand the traditions of the concept because we're leading the program in a way. We're not governing, but we're leading. All right. All right. So working all year to get groups to register. It's very important for the groups to register, GSRs, delegates. We have some issues where a lot of groups that have GSRs are not registering or not involved. So, and I just want to thank Grania for sending me this stuff, but I know how to put it together, what we need to do going forward. Trying to get groups the same representing the conference, the committee. It's very important that everybody's involved. It's just not a few of us because it looks like we're governing, but people are not showing up. Please show up. I know that it's service. I know we don't get paid for this, but I get paid spiritually to try to bring things on. And it's so very important that the more of us involved, you know, you can come up with some things. And this is what this town hall meeting is about. really, so we can get information from y'all, bring it back to the groups, bring it to the intergroups. This is what this is really about. Involving providing service decision of GSA, concept 4 and concept 10. So that's very important for the trustees. So what I'm doing is I'm mixing these things together. So it's important that people that's on the board show up so they could be able to spread the message, you know, about traditions. What's our traditions? What's our concepts? You can even develop your own meetings. So just have a concept meeting, just have a tradition meeting, so we can be familiar. Don't have to know them perfectly, but be familiar with it. I got 5 minutes, so where I'm at, Pat? Pat?
There's 15 minutes left.
No, I got 5.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. That was totally on me. So it's 20 minutes total. I never said this, 5 minutes per presenter. So you want to do another minute, Marvin?
I do another minute, yes.
Okay.
That's why I was trying to get some of this stuff in. And also finally, the 12 concepts are having well-functioning board that only does what the fellowship wants and use available churches and stay close to the fellowship. So that's just what this town hall meeting is about. This is what the committee connection meeting is about. And so we want to get some of your guys' opinions and some of your solutions, you know, and basically that's it. I guess I talked enough. All right. Thank you.
Awesome, Marvin. And thank you for your energy and your great information. And okay, I don't know if, okay. So now, Pat, it'll be 5 minutes for Sharon, who's going to speak about literature. And she's our chair of the literature committee.
You can? Oh, great. Hello, everyone. I'm Sharon. I'm abstinent, grateful member of this incredible fellowship by the grace of God. I weigh and measure like you all do. I have the privilege of being of service at world service level as the chair of the literature committee. It's the committee members that do all the work. I just keep a list of tasks that need to be done, and that we work together as a team to produce wonderful pieces of work that you, the community, the fellowship, members of the fellowship have asked us to do for you. So we don't create something just on our own. We respond to what the fellowship asks us to do. So I'm conscious of time. I'm going to give you a really quick snapshot of some of the highlights of what we've created in the last year, and then what we're currently working on. So in the last, well, in fact, it's been over a year, but for some of you who are perhaps joining this town hall for the first time and you're not sure what we do in the literature committee, I'll give you a quick snapshot. So the Israeli intergroup produced the Grey Sheet in Hebrew. The French community produced the Grey Sheet in French. They also did the French clarifications document. We published the French A Solution for Compulsive Eaters, which is that lovely pamphlet which you'll find on our website. That's in French as well. We've produced another wonderful document called The Newcomer Asks. So if you're new or your sponsees are new or you know people who want to know more about GreySheet, it's a downloadable document from the website. It says A Newcomer Asks, and it's full of information about our fellowship and how we work. That's been published in the last year. And as we've just published Sharing the Solution, which is a collection of letters between a wonderful, wonderful member of our fellowship, Kay, who's sadly passed, but we were able to bring this book together before she passed. And it was letters between her and her sponsee over a period of time, way before we had mobile phones and Skype and Zoom and digital ways of communicating. So if you haven't read Sharing the Solution, the link to buy that book is available on the website under literature. So that's just been published. And then just very quickly, we're currently working on the history book. I mean, it's been a project that is, how long is a piece of string? But it's sort of trying to map the history of GreySheeters Anonymous, and we're slowly pulling that back together. It's been in limbo for a little while. I mean, as Marvin said, everything we do depends on volunteers, depends on members stepping up and being consistent in their service. And so this book has been a long time pending, and we've got a new a new drive of passionate, enthusiastic members who want to bring it back into life. So we're in the process of working on the history book. We've also got some content that's getting signed off for Wikipedia. So at some point in the next few weeks or so, if you Google, if you look up Wikipedia and look up GreySheeters Anonymous, you'll find some wonderful content on our fellowship. We are also in the process of updating our members' stories. Again, on the website, if you click on members' stories, there's some wonderful testimonials from members talking about what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. We're constantly recruiting for new content. Maggie, who's with us today, she will gladly take your stories and guide you through a way that we can format it for the website. The more fresh content we upload to the website, the better the search engine results are. People are looking up how can I stop eating, or a solution for, whatever, food addiction. That GreySheeters Anonymous then comes up as the top result. And that happens when our website is being refreshed the whole time. Carolyn will talk about that maybe. What else are we doing? So we have just approved the Polish Grey Sheet and the Polish clarifications document. So the Spanish Living Abstinent is currently at the typesetters, ready for publication. Hebrew 12 and 12, it's very exciting. That's also been approved by the board and is ready for typesetting and publication. The Polish community are going to translate Living Abstinent into Polish. The Icelandic community are working on translating the 12 steps and 12 traditions into Icelandic. And the Israeli intergroup are working on putting the clarifications into Hebrew.
That's fine.
I think that's my time.
Thank you so much, Sharon.
Okay.
Beautiful presentation. Why don't we take a quick question, and then we're going to have to move on because we have many more presentations. Steve, did you have a question about literature?
I'm sorry, I just had to make a comment. Wow, wow, wow. On such a productive, but she neglected to say how they generously reached out to the archive committee to liaison and collaborate in supplying material for the history book, and how their generous donation of the original papers of Letters to Lindy that they donated to the archive, which from Debbie gave to us, and then Joey put it in our storage. So, we work hand in hand. The committees work as a team. So I just wanted to thank her so much, for all of that. Thank you. You said a mouthful.
Great collaboration. Maggie?
Yes, just very quickly. I have put my information into this little box so that if you have a story, if you have any urge to write about experience, strength, and hope, please contact me. I have the parameters, the word count, how you can do it, a couple of examples that you can look at. Please, we need your experience, strength, and hope on the website. So email me. I got information for you about it.
Thank you, Maggie. Di?
Hi, I respectfully ask if I could add a comment to what Marvin shared. I did have my hand raised and I wasn't recognized at that time.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. I just very respectfully suggest or request that GSA always cite copyright references when referring to the integrity of the gray sheet. Punto, the original copyright and the current one. So there's never any doubt about what literature we're referring to. So I'll put this comment in an email to my GSR. I'm in New York. Is that the way to do it? Okay.
That would be great. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
And again, thank you. I'm a little self-conscious. I've never been to a town hall and I'm, just opening my mouth all over the place. That's not.
Well, you're welcome here.
Sorry.
No problem.
Okay.
Okay. So now for her, I just want to say we're going to have Carolyn for 5 minutes talk about website. And I will just say it's Carolyn's 25th Grey Sheet anniversary today. So Carolyn, welcome and go ahead.
Thank you, Stacy, and everyone. And what a wonderful way to celebrate by being in a meeting with 56 beautiful Grey Sheeters. That is just, oh, no, am I unmuted? Okay. So I'm so excited to see you all. Give me one. Can you see my screen? And now
Yes,
I'm
we
going to
can
go
see your
into the
screen.
actual slide mode, slideshow. Play from start. Okay, so website committee, we kind of reconstituted, or I was asked to help start it up again a little over a year ago in March. So we've only been going for like 9 months, and we've had 5 to 7 people, and we're small but mighty. We've hit the ground running. We see the gray sheet responsibility statement as something that we are uniquely positioned to help address whenever anybody has a problem with food. We want them to think of the gray sheet solution, and obviously online is where many people go when they have all kinds of problems. So we want to be a first point of contact. We want to build trust and credibility. We're accessible around the clock. We have ways to find meetings quickly, and we try to guide people quickly into the next step with calls to action like attend a meeting, read the newcomer guide, talk to a member. We did a lot of initiatives in our first 9-10 months of existence, some of which are still in process. The 2 biggest ones for our fellowship are coming soon. I know I've been saying that for a long time, but they really are coming soon. A new calendar that will show meetings in your local time zone, and a new registration system so that when you go to update your meeting and say now it's at 10:30 instead of 11:30 or whatever, all you have to do is change that it's at 10:30 instead of 11:30 and just affirm that everything else is correct. We streamlined the site, emphasizing help for newcomers and what's new for the fellowship. We originated the idea of having a Wikipedia entry on GSA. I'll talk more about all these things later, and that's in process. And thanks to Maggie, we're ramping up the member stories section of the site with frequently new member stories. So the calendar, this is something I know everybody really cares about. And again, it's coming soon. You'll be able to see meetings in your local time zone, all kinds of ways to search and filter, all kinds of views. When it comes, we will roll it out to the fellowship with a variety of announcements and information, and either at an upcoming existing event like a town hall or a special event, we might have some kind of like online orientation for people, although it won't be that hard to use at all. It's really not that different. But if anybody wants extra hand holding, we will try to provide that. Similarly, the new registration system actually looks just like the old one, except this one incredibly important feature that it will remember your meeting info once you have your special link, and that we'll explain how to get. And then you don't have to retype everything in when you're either re-registering your group or you're updating some information. I wanted to just briefly show the homepage redesign. You see we highlighted here, especially for newcomers. And then I also want everybody to be very aware, there's this nice section here called What's New. And in there we put in, what's new, like there's always new literature, or there might be or new stories on our website, or there's an event coming up. So that's, I know everybody comes to the website to look at the calendar, but it's right above the calendar, and it's a great place to just get in the habit of checking to see what else is going on. Wikipedia. So we came up with a proposal to have a Wikipedia page, and that was passed unanimously by the World Service Conference in October. We wrote a whole entry. It has gone through the literature committee, which has gone over it with a fine-tooth comb and given us lots of good suggestions. So our committee passed it, literature passed it, and now it's in the hands of the board, who are going to vote on it in February. And after that, we will submit it to Wikipedia. The goal is to, again, this ties into our responsibility statement. It's to increase our visibility, provide authoritative, neutral info about GreySheeters Anonymous, GreySheet Anonymous, and be a centralized reference for members, healthcare professionals, researchers, and the general public, and also position us along other 12-step programs. This is the Wikipedia page of 12-step groups. This is only like a fraction of it, but they have like 30 or 40 12-step groups already are on Wikipedia, including many other food fellowships, and no reason we shouldn't be there too. So member stories are as Maggie said, ramping up a little bit. We're trying to put a new one up every week or two. They're just, a source of inspiration and insights. They're very personal, and they're another good tool for newcomers to, sort of understand what GreySheet is or what they potentially could get out of it. And Maggie,
5 minutes.
if you want to write. That's it. Just real quickly, these are email addresses, registrar, events, area contacts to contact for various aspects of the website. And we're soon going to have an email subscription for updates. And that's it. That's our address if anybody wants to be in touch with the website at greysheet.org. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. Thank you. And then you could stop your screen share. Excellent. Okay. And then we do not have a chair right now for the Public Information Committee. So if anyone is interested in that, please reach out to chair@greysheet.org. Okay. All right. So now we're going to have 3 presentations, one from New York Metro Intergroup, one from Western States Intergroup, and one from Europe. And Liz, did you have a question?
I did. Sorry, Stacy. I was just curious as to who updates the website for the meeting list. And
sure.
Because there's a live meeting that we've had on Long Island that's been closed for like 2 years, and it still shows up there, and it's a live meeting, so people could actually walk into the place and there's nothing there.
Of course. So if you could, Carolyn, should she email website@greysheet.org?
Registrar@greysheet.org.
Okay. It's registrar. Yes, registrar@greysheet.org. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Pat?
Yes, please. Just that special hand holding. We've had enormous problems getting things up onto the website. 3 of us just gave up in the end. Yeah, so this special hand holding, how do you get that, please?
Carolyn?
So I'm sorry, I didn't understand. You've had problems getting meetings on the website, or what is it that you are
changing the meeting venue, the name of the venue, the times.
Okay. So that's what I just put in the chat. It's registrar@greysheet.org. And currently our registrar is Grania, and previously it was a different trusted servant. And so that's
thank you.
The way to do it.
Thank you. And then is it Ligia? Okay. All right. So Pat, if you can time Joey for 5 minutes for the presentation about New York Metro Intergroup. And Joey, I will turn it over to you.
Thanks. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Hey everyone, I'm Joey. One of my positions that I do besides the chair of the communications committee is that I am the ISR for the New York Metro Intergroup. So if you have any questions and you're not able to get your clarification of GreySheet, you could go to your GSR, to your sponsor first, your GSR, and if you don't have the question, just send me an email at ny-isr@greysheet.org. So New York Metro Intergroup. Okay, I'm being timed for 5 minutes. www.GreySheetNY.org is the online hub for GreySheeters Anonymous GSA in New York, where members share experiences and aim to overcome compulsive overeating. It promotes a 12-step recovery, viewing overeating as a physical allergy and mental obsession. The site connects food addicts or compulsive overeaters to a community advocating total abstinence from trigger foods, following the GreySheet food plan for lasting freedom from binging and weight issues. So the New York Metro Intergroup, like what I said, is www.GreySheetNY.org. It's a digital hub for the New York Metro area of GSA, including the Zoom. We meet at every first Monday at 8 p.m. Just an addendum, there is no more a One Chicago meeting that is included to us, but we have 2 members men's meeting who are affiliated with the GreySheet with the New York Metro Intergroup. Okay, it provides resources, meeting schedules, and community events, embodying the we of the program. The platform links members to sponsors, focusing on weighing and measuring 3 meals daily. It centralizes information for the New York Intergroup, encourages members to volunteer and support each other, key to maintaining abstinence. It turns the isolating experience of food addiction into a structured, spiritual, and communal process. So far, at the beginning of the pandemic, were one of those intergroups in the East Coast who were able to put on our own Zoom account, and we had been sponsoring, as to this very day, 14 Zoom meetings. We have in-person meeting, 2 in Long Island. Yay, I'm from Long Island. 2 in Queens and 1 in New York City. And we are also affiliated with the men's meeting. There are 2. So Monday we have 1 Zoom meeting, a men's meeting. On Tuesday we have 1 Zoom meeting, an in-person meeting in Queens. Wednesday we had 1 Zoom meeting, a men's meeting. That's also Zoom. Thursday we have 3 meetings. Fridays, we had 1 Zoom meeting, and Saturday, we have 2 Zoom meetings, in-person meeting in Levittown and in Queens, and Sunday, we have 5 Zoom meetings back to back from 7:15 till 11:45. An in-person meeting, we had the Bethpage meeting and the Upper West Side. Ultimately, GreySheetNY.org connects the physical and spiritual sides of obesity and eating disorders, showing that willpower alone often can't break focused foods hold. Through resources like audio shares from the long-term members and details of the Roundup conventions, it shares stories of transformation. As we all know, the New York Metro Intergroup had been a part of the New York City Roundup. So what we did is we had the audio shares of the past roundups, I think a couple of like 3 years ago, and we are currently building the newest 2025 roundup shares that would be put in our website. We also have the Long Island Speaker Jam that is affiliated with the New York Metro Intergroup. It started in 2013 by 2 fellow members. 2025 Bethpage Community Center was our last summer, and the proceeds annually helps us provide an update to our website, and we sponsored GSR's registration to the World Service Conference as needed. The site reassures compulsive overeaters that they are not alone and that peace with food is possible through GreySheet program and the New York Fellowship. So thank you. If you have any questions, you could go to our website. It's still in process at www.greysheetny.org. And if you want to contact me, you could contact me at ny-isr@greysheet.org. I hope that's fine. Exactly?
Exactly.
Awesome, like always.
All
Thank you so much,
right.
Joey. Okay, so now for 5 minutes, if Carolyn can please present for the Western States Intergroup.
Hi, I don't have a presentation for this one. I'll just chat. So our Western States Intergroup had kind of fallen apart, and we had an in-person meeting this summer at the Pacific Northwest Retreat and decided to try to reconstitute it rather than merging with another intergroup. And we worked a lot to reach out to people at our, I think there's about 10 meetings in the Western States, and we restarted it. We now meet every other month and at a time that's not that convenient for me, but it was convenient for other people. So we're now meeting at 7 p.m. first Wednesday in odd number months. And our last meeting, we had 7 people, which was great. So we have an ISR who's me, although I am trying to find a substitute. We have a secretary who is Victor. We have a treasurer, Erica. We have our board liaison, Carla, and I know that Linda M., who's here, has volunteered to be the backup ISR, which would be wonderful. We would have to vote on that at our next meeting. So we're just, getting our feet under us again. I don't have any special accomplishments to report, but just the fact that we're meeting feels really good, that we have it going again. And I think we're sustainable and we can keep going, and we don't need to merge with another intergroup. And so we're all very pleased about that. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. And as a member of the Western States Intergroup and former ISR, it just makes me so happy to know that it is continuing and thriving. Jen, did you have a quick question?
I had a question, just like just thank you to the that intergroup, because they got that Pacific Northwest, they seeded it. They were able to get that started, and it's huge and it's great. And July 10th and 11th and 12th, if you want to come, check it out on the website.
Right.
I can't not say it.
Awesome.
I'm sorry.
Thank you so much, Jen. Okay, so for 5 minutes, Anne B and Anna are going to talk about the European intergroup.
Hi, I am Anne, compulsive overeater, abstinent and grateful for today. Since the conference, I have officially been the Europe ISA. This is the first time I have held this position, and I am very happy to be able to do this specific service with Anna, with the secretary, and Catherine, the treasurer. And we are doing this together, along with all the GSA and fellows in the group. 8 groups, 11 meetings, all on Zoom, except for London, which is hybrid, twice a month. The meetings take place weekly, except for the meeting in Germany once a month. All the meetings are in English, except the German, the Polish, and the Slovenia one. So everyone is welcome. There is a new meeting on a Friday, held by the Stronger Together group. This is a literature meeting, reading, living abstinent. Bulgaria and France groups have closed due to low attendance and language translation challenges. The Brighton group will reopen as a face-to-face meeting mid-February. The GreySheet clarification document and living abstinence are currently being translated into Polish. The European Intergroup meets now every 2 months and is one of the intergroup who gives the most donations to World Service.
And then just to add that New Zealand and Cambodia GSRs have joined European Intergroup to share experience, strength and hope with other GSRs in Europe. This was voted in October, and it will be reviewed again in October of this year. Some challenges, non-English speaking groups have fed back that getting newcomers is difficult, but we're very aware of the wonderful work being done by the Literature Committee. And we are also sharing experience, strength and hope around business meetings and telling people about the new steps and traditions meetings happening on worldwide level. And then special events, the 26th annual London Roundup will be taking place in May on the 2nd and 3rd. The 4th annual Paris Roundup will be happening in October. The exact dates are to be confirmed. And a new London Christmas event is taking place at the end of the year on the 12th of December, 2026, and further details are to be announced.
Thank you so much to Anne and Anna, very informative. Thank you. And now for Jen, if you can please share for up to 5 minutes a report on the 7th tradition.
Yeah, absolutely. So as the 7th tradition says, we're self-supporting through our own contributions. And, I am very grateful that, I've had various different roles throughout my time here, 7.5 years of being able to help with the finance side of things. I'm pitch hitting here, so bear with me. So I am the liaison, and have past chair of the finance committee. So got a little bit of here, but first off, I just want to acknowledge that I'm so grateful that we have a treasurer, that Amy out in California is our new treasurer. Couldn't make it today, but just she is very enthusiastic and all in. And we have Joyce, who is our amazing bookkeeper, that keeps our numbers in place and keeps us on target. So we don't do this alone. So I just want to make sure I recognize their contribution and their service. And so our 7th tradition, every year, just in case people weren't sure how the budget gets developed, we as a service to the fellowship and to our committees, ask them, what are your plans for the year? What has the fellowship asked and that you're going to try to deliver for the year, and how much, would you need to get to make those dreams happen? We're pretty stable. I think generally it's the website and literature tends to be a little bit heftier for our budget, but like that's our core function is to get the message out and to share our experience, strength, and hope. And so like, of course, definitely. And it's all online if you're ever curious on our budgets and what they are for all the different committees. And, we also just have some, if you're not familiar, we are a non-for-profit registered in the state of New York. So we do have some legal costs and other things that just are for our own entity and preserving our copyright, which is so important on our gray sheet. So that's other things that your seventh tradition goes towards. So as for like last year, how we did, we got a good infusion right at the end from a couple intergroups, so we ended up doing a little bit better than we were behind for most of the year. And I don't say that as to be a pressure things, because we do have cash on hand, so it's like we're still okay, but by no means, but to be able to deliver the goals and the things that we've asked for. Our budget for last year was 31,000. And our actual received was just over 30,000. So we did good, but we almost got what we were looking for. So it didn't take too much from our reserves. I am just so grateful to everybody who's on this meeting, who contributes and makes this fellowship keep on moving and keep on booking. So I just wanted to make a plug for if anyone hasn't checked out, you can do either a one-time or reoccurring PayPal contributions through World Service. I believe the New York Intergroup has something similar as well set up. A new fun fact, if you did not know, if you're a Venmo person, you can actually do reoccurring Venmo payments too. I think that's a new thing that's just come out, and for me personally, for my home meeting, has been wonderful to just make it auto pay and just do it so I don't forget. And it's a different world now, guys. Especially post-COVID, we're on virtual. It's really easy to forget. It's not like someone's physically passing that basket around, and a little goes a long way. I think if you do the math out, it's like how many I meant to do this beforehand. Hold on, give me 1 second. So there divided by approximately, yeah. So if everybody contributed at least $40 a year, if of our estimated 800 members, that hits our budget. Like, so I don't know if you want to keep that in mind. And again, you can contribute in any way. It could be to your local group, it can be to your intergroup, to World Service, whatever way you want to support. I know that some of the intergroups are more doing a lot more things, like New York Intergroup has a little bit more expenses, so supporting them, but whatever you can do, but don't feel bad. I think that's always the feeling as people think about finances, like, what if I can't afford it? You're here, you're showing up, you're abstinent, you're weighing and measuring your food, and that's all we can ask for. And we're so grateful for we got 51 people. I am being on this meeting right now and hearing, what amazing things, we do as a fellowship for each other, because that's why I do it. That's why I'm here. I do it because I want to make sure that we stick around. So thank you for everybody just being here, service. So thanks. So anything else, questions? I miss anything, guys?
Excellent, Jen. Okay. All right. So we have 5 minutes of time allotted for if there are any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, that we have the 5 minutes from earlier. Anything people would like to talk about before we start just general announcements and closing? Okay. Remember, you can always send questions to chair@greysheet.org. That's for questions, suggestions, and feedback. You can also send questions, suggestions, and feedback anonymously through communication@greysheet.org. All right. Any Gray Sheet related announcements?
First of all, thank you, Stacy, for doing a wonderful job. Thank you for your service, much appreciated. On behalf of the Communications Committee, in February, we are sponsoring the 2026 Tradition and Concepts. We're going to talk on February 22, Traditions 1, 2, 3, and 4, and Concepts 1, 2, 3, and 4. All the informations are in the website. Thanks, Stacy.
Thank you, Joey. Debbie?
Hi, everybody. Debbie, compulsive eater. I posted in the chat, but I just wanted to verbally tell you Chicago's resuming their retreat this year. It's 20 minutes from the airport, August 7th through the 9th, and we sure would be grateful to see you. GreySheet.org under events. Thanks.
Thank you, Debbie. Grania?
Thank you, Stacy. I'm Grania again, and I don't see any hands from La Comunidad Hispana, so I will say that our Spanish-speaking community speaks the language of the heart, and they will be hosting 2 events already this year. I believe they have a 3rd planned. We will be meeting in Madrid in March, and we will be meeting in Guadalajara in October. And I believe we will be meeting in Mexico City at some point this year as well. And many of you have been to these events. You don't have to be a fluent Spanish speaker. We've had yoga classes from GreySheeters who don't speak Spanish at these events. And it is just a way to know that we are all in this together. So those events are also on the website.
Thank you, Grania. Steve, and then Linda.
Yes, I'm rotating out as the chair of the archive committee in October, so I'm going to stay on the committee, but anyone interested in becoming chair, you can, I put a flyer on the Facebook group, so if you're interested in history, archival work, please contact me or look at the flyer and look at the committee email. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you so much for your service as chair. Linda.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to jump in on the retreat bus. The Connecticut retreat is April 24th, 25th, and 26th. Registration is up on GreySheet.org. There's some double rooms left. Many of you on this meeting are attending, so everybody look at the website and come join us. April 24th, 25th, and 26th.
Thank you so much, Linda. And that will remind me. So right now, the next town hall is April 26th, but I would like the Board of Trustees to consider maybe we can go ahead and move that date so it doesn't conflict with the Connecticut retreat. So we will definitely look into that. We'll put that on the agenda. Any other GreySheet related announcements? Okay. All right, if you have suggestions for special topics for the next 2 town halls, the one in April and the one in July, please email chair@greysheet.org. I want to thank everybody for their presentations today. Thank you, Pat, for timing, Carla for moderating, Joey for doing the Wordly. Thank you, everybody, for being here. You showing up just means everything and is being of service. And thank you to all of you. Thank you. And let's go ahead and close the meeting with the Serenity Prayer. God,
grant me the
Serenity,
accept the things I cannot change, grace to change the things I can change,
wisdom to know the difference.
We'll eat no matter what. Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you. No matter what.
Thank you.
Eat no matter what.
Thanks.